Please welcome Marianne Hagen, Deputy Minister for Foreign Affairs with the Government of Norway. Here she is.
Ladies and gentlemen, friends, colleagues, namaste. It's a great pleasure for me to be here in incredible, beautiful Mumbai and to share the stage with all of these fabulous women on this Women's Forum with a very bold aim to unleash the power of 500 million. Before I turn to Norway's experience on women's empowerment, please allow me to touch upon Norway's relationship with India. We highly value our positive relations with India, the booming economy, the geopolitical role that India makes it an increasingly important partner for a small and faraway country like Norway. Mind you, we are only 5.3 million people altogether. So the developments in India will have a significant impact on how successful the world will be in building our common future in a sustainable and climate-friendly manner. The Norwegian government seeks to strengthen Norway's bilateral relations and economic ties with India. Recently, we released a new strategy for our partnership. The promotion of business partnership is a key ambition of this strategy. A particular emphasis is placed on the ocean industries and the blue economy, which, of course, is a particular relevance here in the city of Mumbai. We see a great potential for increasing cooperation and partnership between our two countries in this important sector. Ocean industries account for more than 70% of Norway's exports. With ocean industries as the backbone of Norwegian industries and exports, it's vital for us to continue developing sustainable solutions for the future. India is an important partner in this undertaking. According to the OECD, the ocean industries are expected to create 40 million jobs for men and women and double their contribution to the global economy by 2030. The oceans as a growth engine will only be sustainable if we also look out for their health and management. Dear friends, India and Norway also share a history of prominent female leaders. Norway's Prime Minister, Erna Solberg, visited India last month with a large business delegation, adding new impetus to our cooperation. When I talk about business opportunities, it is important for me to stress the need for doing so in a sustainable way. Sustainability is not only a matter of practicing business in a good and healthy way, but it's also of using resources in a sustainable manner. This brings me to the topic where we are here to discuss. Women's economic empowerment lies at the heart of the global goals for sustainable development. This is because gender equality is simply smart economics. And because realizing the potential of both halves of the population is crucial to reaching each of the development goals. This is a fact of life that does not escape us in Norway. Women's participation has been a pillar in the welfare state and our economic growth. In 2017, women participation in the labor force was only 5% less than of men. And didn't just happen by coincidence. It is a result of sound and targeted policies and political choice, like government-funded childcare, paternal leave, maternal leave, gender quota on company boards. You would be mistaken if you think that these are handouts to women. They are policies that give Norway a competitive edge and a competitive advantage. And the winners are men, women, children, and society as a whole. It is simply smarter not to bench half the population. The lesson that we have learned in Norway is as clear as international research now shows. Increased participation of women in the labor market translates directly to economic growth, welfare, and sustainability. This means that economic empowerment of women should be at the very top of every domestic strategy for economic growth. For example, research by the World Bank shows that eliminating discrimination against working women could increase labor productivity by as much as 25% across a range of countries. A separate study by the McKinsey Global Institute calculated that the potential benefit of closing the gender gap in the workforce amounted to a staggering 28 trillion US dollars in global GDP by 2025. The facts and the lessons are clear. So at this point, we should get past the why, and we should direct all our attention to fully on the how we should fully involve women in the labor market. At its very core, women's economic independence and potential can only be realized if women have full economic rights. Together, we should therefore work to ensure equal inheritance rights, property rights, and non-discriminatory family law. Combating violence against women and eliminating all legal obstacles to women's equal economic rights need to be top priorities. Finally, access to quality education is a crucial aspect of increasing women's participation in the labor market. For young women in particular, this is the very basis for work and income. It is also crucial for women's ability to hold political and economic positions in society on an equal footing with men. These are important reasons for the priority Norway places on quality education. Dear friends, Norway has now one of the highest levels of women participation in the workforce. In political representation, Norway has almost reached gender parity. We have a four-party majority government in which all party leaders are women. The three most senior roles in the government, the Prime Minister, the Foreign Minister, and the Minister of Finance, all women. So are the roles of Chief Justice of the Supreme Court and President of the Parliament. And the ratio of female parliamentarians is about 40%, and I could go on. However, when it comes to women's access to leadership roles within the corporate sector, there is still a long way to go. 13 years ago, Norway was the first country to legislate a gender quota of 40% women on the boards of all publicly owned and publicly listed companies. The government believed that in order to achieve a real and positive change, a substantive push was needed. At the time the legislation was introduced, the ratio of women on publicly listed company boards was only 7%. Today, it's about 40%. And contrary to the predictions of the critics, business is booming. The arguments for the gender quota were, of course, to promote a better gender balance on the boards and a general wish to see more women in corporate leadership roles. In addition, the quota was to facilitate more representative boards. This is based on the acknowledgement that increased diversity lead to better decision-making and better decision-making processes, subsequently benefiting the company's bottom line. As I mentioned, women's participation in the workforce has contributed substantially to the Norwegian economy. And Norway is a very rich country. And most people assume it's because of our oil and gas industry. But what is equally important is the value of the female labor participation. This is, contrary to the natural resources, a perpetual source of income. The Norwegian government will continue to build its gender equality policies on positive stimuli through startup programs, a focus on female entrepreneurship, and a separate database on female board members and managers. Recruitment of women, holding up half of the world, into leadership positions is essential in order to get the best talent. Excluding women deprives companies, organizations, and countries of half of the talent pool. Norway will remain to be a front-runner for gender equality and women's empowerment. We would like the Indian government to join us in taking a lead towards our common goal. Let us continue to promote this cause together. It's simply the smartest thing to do. Thank you so much for your attention.